Upon USA's announcement of the student election candidates, EUTV's producers reached out to all of the sabbatical and liberation candidates. Due to the short window of the campaigning period, we had to give everyone a deadline for responding, so our editors could put the videos together. The candidates shown are the ones who responded to us by the deadline. EUTV is not endorsing any of the candidates shown.
Hi, my name is Ellen, my pronouns are she, her. I'm your current Students' Association president and I'm also a biomedical sciences student too. I'm running again for the role of president because I want to make sure that you have experience when it matters most. We need a president in office who can hit the ground running from day one. I've already learned and heard so much from students over this past year, and together we've had some amazing wins, such as increasing the number of counsellors, increasing hardship funding and ensuring rent pauses. I have a track record of amplifying marginalised voices, fearlessly challenging the university as well as government, and making real change happen. If you vote for me, I will continue to be an accessible leader who listens, who fights, and who you can be proud of.
Hi, my name's David Lennon and I'm running for Vice President of Activities and Services in the upcoming student election. And I want to represent your voice on campus. Over the last 3.5 years as a committee member and treasurer and now president of the University Folk Society, I believe I've identified some ways we can improve the student experience for everyone. I'm determined to implement my manifesto points. I really believe that by simplifying the funding process, expanding support networks for societies, clubs and services, and improving the accessibility and safety of all students on and off campus, we can really improve the student experience.
My aim is to have as much fun as I possibly can for this campaign period, and to be approachable as well, you know, like to be someone you can have a casual conversation with about anything and build that relationship with the student body through our activities and through our venues and our events. You know, that connectivity and that willingness to interact closely with you, I think, sets me apart from the other candidates. So yeah, having spent a number of years as an RA and having the privilege of seeing so many wonderful groups of students meet, mingle, interact, become friends, you know, that's my motivation. We've had a year where those connections have been inhibited, and while that's no one person's fault, you know, someone has to take that serious responsibility in facilitating that socialization again. You know, being VPAS is a fantastic opportunity to make some of those connections happen, inclusive, of course, of people from all walks of life. And you know, for me, that's a really exciting thought.
If you take a look at my manifesto, I think my points are clear, achievable, and they properly represent the responsibilities that fall within USA's activities and services. It's such a massive remit, and I've tried to cover all areas of the role. I hope that by doing so, I'm able to prove that I know what I'm doing, because you're not just voting for my manifesto points, you're voting for someone to represent you within USA. And I think it's important that you vote for someone who knows what they're getting into right from the start. My number one priority would definitely be student groups. Obviously, I think that all my policies are important, but student groups are the key area where most of our students interact with USA. I think it's important that we represent USA well when we talk to our student groups, and that we properly give them the support and attention they deserve. I'm planning to overhaul the way that we communicate with our groups, and a lot of quality of life changes that will make it so much easier to run your group efficiently, like centralized email addresses, online storage, improved banking and synced calendars.
Hi guys, my name is Réka and I'm running for VP Activities and Services because after 4 years of being in society committees and doing peer support and just volunteering on campus, my experience is that USA is just not doing the right things to support the students. I think you should vote for me because I'll make sure that students are put first in front of profit, in front of any other considerations that USA might have. And I'll make sure that our voice is heard and that we get the campus experience that we all want. My main priority, if elected, is to transform Tevia to Pleasance, KB House into actual social hubs for our students, because at the moment we've got nowhere else to go, and I just want to make sure that the moment it's safe to go back to campus, that we've got like a safe space where we can gather, socialise, have fun, have some food, have some drinks without, having to be worried about anything else.
If I'm elected, my number one priority as Vice President of Education will be to look at the way that the personal tutor is being reformed at present. This unfortunately was put on hold due to COVID-19 and the impact that had on the university. But I think it's crucial that we push this forward and make sure that our students are as supported and as safe in their university environment as they can be. I'm also very passionate about making sure that personal tutors are trained in both mental health, to both protect their own and their students' mental health without overburdening them, and making sure that trauma approaches to education are taken very seriously. This includes a recent student council motion that I had passed, which looks at the way that special circumstances reporting processes deal with people and support people who've been through traumatic experiences. So this is something which I'm very passionate about, I've already had action on, and I hope that if I'm elected, I'm able to carry forward and grow from here.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I want to be your Vice President Education because I am really passionate about education, and I've been passionate about this for ages. I'm doing my thesis on science education. I'm currently the undergraduate representative for the School of Chemistry, and I'm really good at it. I've set up study groups, weekly mental wellbeing chats. I've also worked with the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Committee to set up events addressing LGBTQ History Month, women in STEM and mental wellbeing. Students should vote for me above other candidates because my manifesto has clear, actionable points with a focus on mental wellbeing. I believe I'm the only candidate to have included opportunities for students who have missed out on practical skills on my manifesto. So if you've missed out on labs or studio time, I will make sure that there are specific crash courses for you to catch up and to refer back to throughout your university career. Check out my manifesto on the USA website and remember to vote Sophia for Vice President Education.
I want to be your next VP community because I know there is still so much our university could and should be doing to create a more conscious, connected and comfortable environment for students. I want to represent you when asking the university to do better for us. My number one priority is to lobby the university and council to improve safety on campus and in surrounding areas such as the meadows. A small step such as improving lighting around campus and accommodation walking areas can make a big difference in how comfortable students, especially women and people of colour, feel when walking alone at night. Edinburgh is a small city and I know a lot of students walk to and from their homes and their campuses, and they deserve to feel comfortable on these commutes. They deserve to feel safe not only on campus but also when walking through the city as well. Students should vote for me because as an international student and a woman of East Asian descent, there are not a lot of spaces where we're represented. My unique outlook and experience means that I will not only be able to be a voice for the average Edinburgh student, but I can also represent our marginalised student groups and draw on my lived experiences to ensure that we have our say and are heard.
Hi, I'm Mary. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm standing to be the next VP community as I'm really passionate about making sure that inclusivity, sustainability and accessibility are at the heart of our Edinburgh community. Students should vote for me as I'm experienced in sustainability discussions and outreach opportunities through my time as the SDA Outreach Officer and Secretary of the Geographical Society, and I'll make sure that Edinburgh is a community that values your voices, experiences, opportunities and your wellbeing. My priority would be to improve student engagement across all of the USA's work through facilitating student-led workshops and working with our liberation officers, to highlighting outreach opportunities and expanding our sustainability resources. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Mary for VP Community and find my full manifesto on the USA website. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paula and I'm running for VP Community because I want to bring about real systemic changes within our university to reduce its global environmental impact, empower students to resist being taken advantage of by landlords, and to prevent the mistreatment of students by uni management that we've seen this year from ever happening again. I have years of experience campaigning for environmental and social justice on campus. I was part of the successful divestment campaign back in 2018 and I currently sit on the elected board of trustees for People and Planet, a national network for student activists. All these experiences have given me the skills to bring about change in a university context. If elected, my number one priority would be to continue the work I've been doing since my first year to clean up the university's investment portfolio. Despite fully divesting, Edinburgh still has indirect and pension fund investments in fossil fuels, direct investments in Amazon, and it banks with Barclays, who put billions into the fossil fuel industry annually. I also want to establish a student tenants union so that students in halls can continue to demand better housing conditions from the uni long into the future. You can find me on social media at Paula for VPC.
I want to create a university where every student feels seen, feels heard, and feels represented by promoting diversity and advocating for inclusion of members of marginalized community through creating a hate-free campus. I have real experience working on issues relating to welfare and equality and serving the student community in our university. I am a founder and a director of the Black Ed Movement, which is an anti-racist organization. I am tired of feeling like the Students Association doesn't fully represent the student body, and I'm tired of not being seen, of not being heard, of not being represented, and I want to be that change. I am a Black Muslim woman and I am an international student studying on a scholarship, so I feel I will be able to relate to the needs of multiple student groups, and I will be able to ensure that their needs are met adequately and efficiently.
My name's Anna and I'm running to be your next VP Welfare. Student welfare has been neglected by the university at a time when it's more important than ever, so I want to rebuild a university that is caring, inclusive and fit for the future. I will introduce a working from home fund, will lobby for a more diverse counselling service, and will push for permanent reform of the special circumstances process. I know I'll be a dedicated, compassionate and approachable representative for you, and I will hold the university accountable for their failings for students during the pandemic. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Anna for VP Welfare and vote for Anna.
Hi, I'm Elena and I'm going for the VP Welfare role this year because I believe it's time for student mental health and well-being to be put at the centre of university policy, not sidelined or trivialised. So I already have experience working in welfare as the welfare officer on the Geography Society, and this, coupled with my own personal experience of the student support system, gives me an in-depth and unique insight into the welfare role. So I can't really pick one thing to prioritise, but to start with, I would like to reform the special circumstances and the counselling services which still don't provide the support that students need, and I will also introduce compulsory consent training and anti-racism courses before matriculation. Thank you.
I'm running for VP Welfare because I'm angry with the way that students have been treated by the uni this year, and the way that our experiences of the pandemic have been belittled and have been ignored at a time when we need support from the uni. My experience is of going through uni with a learning disability. And that's been difficult and it's been isolating in its own way. But as I've spoken to other students with different experiences to me throughout this campaign, I've learned so much about how we can improve our uni, not just make it a better place to study, but a place that people can look at and say, yeah, that is a uni that I belong at. That's a uni that if I attend and I'm struggling, will support me. I don't think we could say that right now. My number one priority if I was elected would be on COVID safety net, first thing. On securing a no detriment policy for honours courses and free first attempt resits without requiring special circumstances. But then it would be on report and support, which is a system that's coming in for handling cases of sexual harassment, which I think should be expanded to include any case of targeted harassment. So I think building on that system to tackle the growing racism and abuse in our city and securing a safety net would be my two major priorities.